Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this HP EliteBook 840, and I'm going to be replacing the charge port on this model. Okay, so first what you want to do is slide this cover off. So just slide this to the left. It'll have this reddish orange thing, and then after you do that, you can actually use these two rubber feet to pull the cover down and then lift it off. Okay. After we do that, we're going to have to remove all the screws from the bottom. So we are going to be using a T9 screwdriver bit. We'll also want to remove the battery. So there's these unlock little latches, and there's two of them. So this one you slide this way. This one's actually broken, so it's going to be tough for me to remove. Let me see if I can do it. So I got a flathead screwdriver. Normally you don't do this, but you pull this latch down, and then you can pull the battery up, assuming it's actually unlatching. I don't know if it is because it's broken, but I will try and pull this up. Okay, there we go. So yeah, this latch is supposed to pull back this piece here, but it is kind of broken on this one. So yeah, I think they replaced the battery. This doesn't look like an original HP battery. They do give the model number. It looks like CM03XL, or you can just look for the HP EliteBook 840 battery. Usually I'll look on Amazon or something like that. If you need a link, just let me know and I'll try and help you find one. Okay, so let's see here. Now we're gonna have to remove all the screws in here. So okay, first thing you want to do, make sure that you remove the rubber pieces if there are any. This laptop is old, so I only saw one rubber thing in here. I use a little needle and just pop it out. But yeah, if there are other rubber pieces in there, you want to remove all of them. Okay, so on the bottom you would see, if it's the same, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws before you remove the cover. Okay, and then underneath the cover we'll have to remove a bunch more, so let's go ahead and do that. So there's one here. Okay, oh, and if you're gonna want the RAM type, this is a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive or SSD you can actually put in there, and the RAM is, let's see, just pop the two sides like that, PC3L 12800S. Okay, so that's the type of RAM that you would need. It's all dusty, but yeah. All right, I'll leave the RAM in there. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and remove all the screws. So there's one there, there's another one across here. Okay, so these are all T9 screws that I'm removing first. Okay, let's see, there's another one here. Okay, looks like there's also a screw for the keyboard, but those are Phillips screws, so I'm going to leave those for now. Then we got another T9 screw here. Okay, hopefully I'm removing these right. Okay, and then you got another one down here. Okay. Alright, and then we got another 3 down here, so we'll remove those 3 as well. Okay. 2 and 3. I might have to do some of this disassembly off screen, but we'll see. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to remove this little USB adapter here. Okay. Oops. Okay, so now we're done with the T9 screwdriver. We're going to switch to a PH1, and then we're going to remove the 2 screws here for the keyboard. Okay, 1, 2, and these ones are spring loaded. They actually stay attached to the cover here. Okay, then we're going to remove the screws for the hard drive or the SSD. There's 4 screws. You want to remove those. Okay, 1, 2, think these are actually also spring-loaded as well and stay in place. They stay connected to the hard drive caddy. Yep. Okay. Once you remove all those screws, you can pull the hard drive or SSD back. Oh, it's getting stuck. So let's see here. This is out. That's out. It's out. So this thing is so old. The tab that they have there is kind of breaking. So I'm going to try and use the screws to pull it just like that. Okay. And there we go. We got the hard drive out. If you want to replace it, there's supposed to be 4 screws here. It looks like they lost 2, one on both sides. But usually there would be 4 screws here that hold this bracket onto the SSD or the hard drive. And then, yeah, you can swap in a new one if you want. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Now we're going to remove these flat screws that are holding the board down. And I'm only going to remove the ones that are holding the board down, not these other ones that are holding like the trackpad or something. Okay, so got one here. Got another one up here. Alright, third one here. Fourth one here. Okay, got a fifth one down here. Okay, then we've got a sixth one all the way over here. Alright, and that looks like all the screws we need to remove. I don't think I need to remove anything else. There's the CMOS battery here. There's a wide area network card slot here. You got the regular wireless card here. I guess on this, do I have to remove this? Okay, I think I do. So I'll just remove it. To remove the antennas, you just go on the tail and then you just pop it up. Alright, just like this. It's kind of stuck. Sometimes I use both fingers to kind of go on both sides and pop it up just like that. Alright, same thing with this one. Alright, and then we're going to take the screw out and set the wireless card aside. After you take out the screw, it'll pop up at an angle like this. Then you can pull the card out. Okay, we'll set that aside. Alright, I don't know if I had, actually I probably didn't have to remove that, but well, did it anyways. Okay. After you do that, we should be able to pop this whole thing out. Let's pull these this tray up. So I'm just grabbing here. If this one is old, so I don't know if somebody broke clips on it. So if yours is harder to pull up, just know that you might need to use a little more force. Check if you forgot any screws. But yeah, just grab this. Okay, this side seems to be stuck. Oh, that's one thing. You want to pull the SD card tray out. And there is a small screw under here, it's a PH1 screw here. So remove that screw as well. Okay, just like that. Grab the thing, and now we can lift the whole tray up. Okay, so there we go. We lifted out the bottom panel of the computer. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we want to get to this charge port because that's what's having problems. That's what the customer needed repaired. It looks like this small USB port and the VGA port is actually a separate board. So if you want, you can actually replace this. There's 2 screws holding this small board in place. So we're going to take those 2 screws out so that we can get that board out and set it aside. Okay. Then to remove this cable, you want to flip this black latch up. Okay. Then you can actually lift this board up and you can get that separated. Okay. So we'll set that aside. I'm going to leave that on for now. Alright, let's see. Do I need to remove? I might actually have to flip it over and remove the keyboard to get the board out because the cable's on the other side. So let me flip this over. I think it might have some information there that I'm not supposed to show, so... Oh, okay, no, that's nothing important, I think. Okay, so you got the keyboard here. Let's see if it comes out the way I think it does. Okay, so we can get a pry tool underneath. I don't know if it's supposed to pop up. Let's see here. Okay, it looks like it comes up, so get the pry tool in. Wherever you feel like it hits something, you just pop it up, just like that. Okay, just like that, and then we can get the whole top part of the keyboard up, it looks like. Okay, just like this. All right, you kind of flex the top up and then the sides down, just like that. Okay, is there another screw holding it or something on there? Let's see here. No, doesn't look like it. Okay, so we're going to pop this out. It's stuck on something. Is there like an adhesive holding this? I don't know what's holding that down. I don't see an adhesive or anything, so that's kind of strange. Let's see, unless they're hiding a screw underneath this, but I doubt it. No, there's no screw underneath the CMOS battery. So I'm not sure why the keyboard is being kind of stuck there. Let's see, we're gonna try and pull it out. Okay, so let's see, pull this forward. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I don't know what it was getting caught on. So you pull the thing like that and then slowly rotate it. You probably can't rotate it all the way because the cable is short, but the cable's there. Same thing, there's this black latch, flip it up, and then you can pull the cable out, right? It looks like there's a cable here. This is for the little center track point thing that lets you control it, the joystick. Pull that out, and then you got the keyboard backlight cable here. Same thing, flick up the latch, and then pull that out. Okay, we'll set that aside. There's kind of some dust on it, so I'm going to clean it off, actually. All right. I will have to clean off the whole fan later because the fan's probably going to be very dusty. Let me actually do that right now. So I'll set that aside. And I'm just going to brush this off over the trash can. Okay. And this is a very old laptop model. So, yeah. All right, so we got that. What we're going to want to do is undo these latches because we are going to pull the whole motherboard up. So I'm going to undo the two latches here. Okay, I can't tell what these are connected to, but we'll probably see when I flip it over. Okay, so, okay, that one is for this board. What is this? Smart card. Okay, so this is like a smart card. And then the other one, I guess I'll see when I pull the board up completely. Okay, so we got all of that out. Now we're going to remove the rest of the screws. There's one down here. Okay, I have to make sure I have some room because I'm going to have to remove this connector. I have to desolder that. All right, let's see. So we got that one screw. Are there other screws left in here? We got to remove this board. Is that a piece of rubber band? All right, we'll flip up this latch. And then we'll remove this cable. Okay, what is that board? That's the power button board, I believe. All right, then we got another screw right here. Okay. All right, and then we got another screw right here. They actually have little white arrows pointing to where these screws came from, so just so you know. Okay. I think that's all the screws we need to remove to pull up the board. The only thing is all these cables are kind of holding it. So let's see what we can do. We're probably going to have to remove all those cables to take this out. It looks like the fan is, okay, there's a screw here holding the fan, so remove that screw. Looks like it's spring loaded. So okay, and there's also another screw here holding the fan. So remove both those screws and then hopefully we can take the fan out. Okay, the fan actually goes underneath the heatsink here. So when we lift it, it'll come up. So let's disconnect all these cables. One thing I didn't mention is after you take out the battery, oops, let me plug this back in because I don't remember if I don't think I did that. But after you take out the battery and remove all sources of power, before you touch this LCD or LVDS cable, you want to press and hold the power button for about 15 to 20 seconds just to drain any power that's left on the board, so there won't be like a shock or something if you end up like taking that cable out wrong. Okay, that's very important for the LCD or LVDS cable connector. Okay. All right. So we're going to close that back down now. You want to do it carefully because you don't have all the screws holding it in place. We're going to disconnect this again. Okay. Now we're going to have to peel up this black adhesive. Okay. Peel that up. All right. Once you get all that adhesive off, all right, you kind of want to peel it back. You don't want to pull it up because then you can pull this metal shield off. Okay. All right. Once you get it back far enough that it's no longer on that metal shield, you can take the wings of the connector. Actually, let me zoom in to make this a little bit easier to see. Okay. So the wings of it, just like that, and then you kind of rock it left and right, and it will slowly pop out just like that. Okay, that's how you remove that. All right, then you got all these antennas. Technically, you can leave these and then just flip the board over if your main goal is to get the charge port out, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so let me see if I can leave it or if I have to take them all out. I'm going to lift this up. Let's see here, is it stuck? Let's try and lift this board up. Okay, so we'll lift it up from the side with the fan, and then we can hopefully pull it over this direction and lift it out. Okay, I'm trying to wiggle it around. Again, don't forget there's that little cable that's stuck there underneath, so it might not, let's see here. Am I missing any screws, or is it just all those cables holding it down? It's stuck here. Okay, well, I guess I'll peel up the cables just to make sure that those aren't causing any issues. So we'll peel up this, unroute it from these things, okay, and get these antennas as well, unroute them, okay, and then we'll disconnect this little cable here. I just pinch it just like the other one, the wings, and then kind of wiggle it as I pull. These kinds of connectors tend to be a little bit more difficult to remove, but just do what you can. Just wiggle it like this, and there we go. Okay, got that connector out, and then we'll unroute all these cables, and hopefully after we take these out, it will be a lot easier to lift the board up. Okay, so we got all of that out. Let's lift the board up. All right, it is getting easier. And then, oh, I guess we have to lift it pretty far. Now it comes out pretty easily. There we go. So now we're going to have to remove this. This is plastic, so heating this is going to be a little tricky. I'll try with my my hot air station because there's so many pins here. So if I use like a soldering iron, it's probably going to be very difficult to remove. So what I'll do is I'll try and heat it from the bottom here and then remove it. So the replacement one comes like this. All right. I don't know why they put this piece here. Maybe it's so when you melt it, it's easier. But they added this. I don't know if this is heat resistant or something. Maybe I'll use that on the replacement one so I can blow the hot air at it to remove it. We'll see, depending how difficult it is. So that's how you remove the motherboard or the logic board from this computer. And there's a lot of dust under here, so I am going to actually take the fan out and clean it because it looks pretty bad. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to peel that adhesive up, and the fan connector, just like the other ones, you just grab the little wings if you can and just wiggle it as you pull it back. Okay, just like that. Okay, so there we go. Look how bad that fan is. Oh my god, that's so much dust. So I'm going to clean all of that out with the toothbrush. Okay. Alright, get that out. And use use my air blower and just blow the dust out of it. Okay, so here you go. So much cleaner. We'll set the board aside for now. I'm going to clean the fan as well. Oops, I dropped it. See, look at that big ball of lint. Okay, so I'm just cleaning off the fan. Super dusty. Okay. Okay, fan's cleaned up. Set that aside, then we'll clean off this as well. And then we will get to removing the charge port. So much dust. Jeez. Okay, so now we got all of that. Now we are going to go ahead and get the board. You want to make sure you're grounded while picking up the board. If you're wondering what that means, just make sure that you're touching something metal so static doesn't build up. Alright, so now we're going to try and remove this. I'm wondering how I'll do this because there's a little button here. It's a little dangerous. I don't know how I'm going to heat this without damaging these components. Probably best bet is to use this little piece that they added on here. You probably won't have this, but I'm going to slide this off and then use it. So I'm going to put this on there, and then I'm going to use that to heat this. Actually, I can probably just heat the whole thing, and then I just have to use some tweezers or pliers to kind of pull it up. Okay, so let's see what we can do if I can remove this piece. The easiest way is you kind of have some weight pulling up on it. I don't know if I'll even be able to do this, but the easiest way is you have some weight pushing up on it while you heat it, and then if it gets hot enough to melt all these pins, then it'll pop out. So I don't know if I'll be able to show this on video. I've done other ones, but I'm going to get my hot air station and I'll be back. So if I don't have room, then I probably won't be able to record this part, but I'll see what I can do. Okay, I'll be back with the hot air station. Alright, so I'm back with the hot air station. I'm going to see if I can show this. So it's kind of noisy, but basically I'm going to use this, heat up the board. Okay, I'm going to try and do this actually slightly off my desk so I can warm the area around it. And I'll put lower airflow, and I'll just try and heat the area around this piece. Okay. Kind of want to let the rest of the board warm up a little bit too, but you don't want it too hot. This plastic stuff will all melt right here, so kind of want to be careful. Just want to warm it up a little bit. Okay. Alright, just so it's not like all concentrated in one small area like on this point. Okay, so now that it's warm everywhere, I'm going to focus on this. It probably should use a smaller tip, but we'll see how it goes. It's actually getting so hot, the plastic here is melting, as you can see. So we'll see what happens if I can actually get this out without, I don't know if we'll be able to or not, but we'll try. So the plastic here is melting at a pretty low temperature, so I don't know. This whole charge port's probably just going to melt before I can even remove it. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm probably going to have to up the amount of air. This side has a lot less thermal mass, so it should be easier to melt and lift up. Oh, so much melted plastic. Melted plastic might make it more difficult to remove. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's increase the airflow. There we go, it's popping up. It is coming out. There we go. Okay. So we can turn this off now. I'm going to have to switch to a soldering iron. These pieces, as you can see, I think that's why it was having a loose connection. These two pins actually completely ripped off. They weren't attached to the thing. Okay. So, too bad. I probably could have actually soldered just that metal piece, added some melted metal if I knew or could see where it was broken, but I couldn't see that. Alright. So I'm going to let this thing cool down by letting it run cooler air through it. Okay, and then this I'm going to have to use a regular soldering iron and see if I can fix those solder joints, or replace or remove the solder and then fix the solder joints. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up. Hopefully all the stuff around it is okay. It is kind of dusty. There's a switch here. I'm not sure what that switch is for, but yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to get the replacement one. Alright, is it cool enough yet? Alright, so we got the replacement jack. So basically this will drop back down in here, but I am going to have to remove all the debris and the solder that's on there. Okay, so I'm gonna set aside the hot air station, and I'll be back with the soldering iron. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back with the soldering iron here. Okay, I also got this to put that on with the wet sponge. I got this is a solder sucker. Got extra solder, and then I got some flux to help remove the oxidation. Okay, so usually you don't want to work on this over your lap because it might drip on it. I'm going to see about putting this trash can down here. And it can drip in there and melt whatever's in there. I don't care. Alright, so this I'm probably going to have to do upside down so I can remove these two pins. So I'm going to flip this over. Okay, and hopefully I can still get this in view. So I'm going to try and melt these two and then get these two little pins out. So let's see if I can do that with some tweezers. Okay, I'm going to heat it up with the soldering iron, and then I'm going to try and pull those pins out. Okay, so let's see if I can grab that pin. Let's see if I can melt this. I have some old solder there. Maybe I need to add some flux. Okay, I was able to get that out. Let's try it with this other one as well. The only thing is there's a lot of little components all around this, so it's a little risky. There we go. Got that one out as well. Okay. So I'm going to clean off my soldering iron. It does have some old flux on it that I used to tin the tip. Alright, and then now that I got that, I'm going to flip it back over. Okay, so now we only have these solder points up here. So I'm going to do is I'm going to add some flux there. My flux is all old and crystallized now, but it still works. You just have to warm it up. So I'm going to put this stuff here. Okay. All right. And we're going to use that. We're going to melt that stuff on there. Just like that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use this on the other side. And then while it's melted, I'm going to use the suction. Okay. Just like that. So that clears up the holes. Sorry I can't get a close-up because it's going off my desk. Actually, let me see if I can. I'll try. Okay. There we go. That's probably better. All right, so I'm gonna melt this again. And then while it's melted, I'll use the solder sucker to pull the solder through. Okay, that didn't work so well. I'm gonna try again. Okay, looks like it's pretty clear, so we're gonna go to the next one. Go. And just repeat with all of the, sorry, my arm's in the way, but we'll just repeat that with all of these little pins. Right, it helps to have this flux stuff there. Right. And if the flux doesn't work, you can also add more solder. Okay. So melt that up. Oops. It's hard to hold this over there. It's slippery. Go. Clean that up. Alright, clean that up. Clean that up. Alright, I'm gonna have to add some more flux on those tiny ones over there. Works better when it's warmer. Right now the weather's kind of cold and I'm working in the garage and I don't have a heater on, so this flux stuff is like super solid right now. Okay, just get it all in the holes. If there's not enough solder there, sometimes you have to actually add more solder to make it easier. Okay. Go. Okay. So that one I have to either add more flux or add more solder, so let's see if I can accomplish it with more flux. If not, I will add more solder. So let's add the flux in there because that helps transfer the heat to the metal that's stuck in there for the solder. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to add some solder to that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean off my soldering iron. We'll add a little solder to the tip. Since there's flux there, it should flow in pretty well. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna get the solder sucker again, heat up the solder, and pull it out. There we go. Nice and clean. This one. Last one. Oh, that didn't work too well. I think I have to add more solder to that one as well. Okay. All right. This one's really difficult to get out. This one's being kind of a pain. Okay, I guess I have to add more flux as well. This one, the opening is kind of small, so it's more difficult. Maybe I can pull this flux that's already melted and throw it in there. Okay. Off the soldering iron. Some solder to it. Okay, let's add some solder to this one. Go. Sorry, it's moving out of view. Oops, wrong way. Okay. And this one's being a pain in the butt. I might have to just put the adapter on there, and then while I'm pushing it in, heat that up. Let's see if I can pull it from the other direction. It's stuck. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing. Where is it? Oh, here. Okay. So let's try and heat it from this side. There we go. All right, it looks like we cleaned it all out, so that's good. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get some isopropyl alcohol and a napkin, and I'm gonna clean off the excess flux just to get it all cleaned up. Actually, usually you don't need to clean it up yet, because when you put the new one on, you're gonna have to add more flux. So, but I'll just clean it up for now just to see if it all looks clean and clear. Okay, looks good. Okay, so now we're gonna have to put the new one in. I don't need to clean off all this flux yet because I'm gonna have to clean it afterwards. So let's grab the replacement port. Okay, oh, I should probably clean it better since I left like paper towel residue on there. Clean that up. Sorry if I'm getting in the way, I can't tell. Okay, I'm going to use the toothbrush, brush off any gunk that's left on there. This middle pin, I think I might need to clean it some more. Yeah, the middle one I need to clean up a little bit better. So I'm going to try and burn that off a little bit more. Not too bad. I'm gonna have to use the solder sucker and see if I can get that out. Yeah, that one I'm probably gonna have to melt as I push the thing in. Okay, so let's see here. So you got this, and then this goes in. I believe it went that way, right? Yeah, because I was heating it and I was pushing it upwards. This one, I don't think, can it go through backwards too? Okay, I'm pretty sure it went this way. Let me double check. Yep, it did. Okay, let me brush off all the dust from here. Since I have this thing out, might as well. Okay, so now we're going to put this charge port back on here. Okay, just line it up. I think the middle pin is the only problem. I'm gonna see if I can melt that stuff and then remove it completely, because that's gonna be annoying if it's stuck there. So I'm gonna add a little more flux. Okay. Probably add some solder as well. Oh wait, why is my soldering iron so low? Okay, let me set it higher. About 425 Celsius, I believe. Yeah, that doesn't want to come out. I don't know. Let's try and melt some new solder on there. Okay, the problem is the little hole there that the solder is going through it's too tiny, so I don't know if I can melt it and pull it through. Yeah, I don't think it went through. Let's see the other side. Nope. I don't know how I'm gonna show this on camera. I mean, you get the point. Melt it and try and pull the solder through. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna try and push it through the other side, and then I'm gonna melt that as I pull it through, okay? So let's see, we'll put the charge port in here. Okay, hopefully the other pins are all good enough. So I'm gonna try and melt this while I push it through, okay? Okay, it feels like it's doing it. So I'm gonna get some solder onto this, make it work better. Okay, so now that I have some solder on the soldering iron, I'm gonna touch that on there. It should allow me to melt better. And push this through. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't want to go all the way. Let me see if all the pins are making decent contact. Okay. Looks like it should be okay. It's not really a good... I don't know. I'm not happy with that. It's not going through properly the way it should. Okay, I don't know if the other pins aren't going in right either. Let's see here. Sorry, I keep taking it off out of view because I'm trying to see what I'm doing a little bit better. Okay, yeah, all the pins seem okay except for that middle one, so I don't know. It doesn't want to go. So So I'm trying to hold it up while I heat it. Come on, go through. Okay, let's try adding some flux there. Alright, let's heat that up again. Might be as good as it's gonna get. Okay, clean that up. Alright, so now let's flip this over, and then we're gonna add the solder to all these little pins, okay? So the best way to do that I found, normally what you would do is you would heat this, and then while you're heating it, you would touch the solder to the pins. Okay, so you would heat this, and then you would touch that on there. Oops, let me tin the tip so it's not covered in rusty stuff. All right, so do that, and then while you're doing that, you add the flux or the solder with the flux there, like that. But a lot of times I find it doesn't get enough flux in there, so sometimes I'll add extra flux. Okay, so same thing, heat that up, and then put the solder in there. As you can see, it's the solder's, I don't know if you can actually even see that, but the solder's going up there instead of down into the cracks where it should go. That's where I add the flux, and it helps pull. Flux will help pull the solder in where it should go. Okay, as you can see, when it's warm, I add the flux and it automatically will flow in. Okay, just heat this up. There we go, and the solder just goes where it should. Okay. Just like that. Alright, this thing's getting all burnt up. Okay. Same thing with these. Heat it up. Add the solder. I think I have the temperature too high. I'm going to lower it to 400. Because the tip of my soldering iron is getting all rusted up really fast. Alright. Okay. I need to add flux to this one. Okay, got all that. Let's melt that flux all around and go. Make sure that the solder goes in where it should. There we go. And we'll flip it over, check the other side, and then we'll clean it up with the, oops, there we go. All right, grab that. And we'll add the solder to the other side. Make sure the solder is going through to the other side. Okay. Go. Go. Make sure the solder goes through to both sides. Sorry, oops, sorry, my head was in the way the entire time. Alright, anyways, soldered that all in. Should be good to go. Then we just have to clean off all the residue. Okay. I'm just cleaning off my soldering iron and then retinning the tip. Alright. Okay, so we got all of that. We're going to clean up the flux that was left behind. Alright, just rubbing alcohol on a piece of paper towel or napkin. And then just rub out the flux that was there. Alright. There we go. Flip to the other side. Clean this side off as well. I need some more. Sorry if my head gets in the way. Okay. All right, after that, I'll use a toothbrush, clean it up a bit, and then I'll go over again with some rubbing alcohol to make sure it's all cleaned up. Okay. Clean it up a bit more. Okay, that side looks good. Still a little bit on the little pins, but it's kind of stuck in between, so it's hard to get that out. There we go. Okay, flip it over. And then we'll try and clean up this as best as we can. Okay, here we go. So clean that off. And we should be good to go. So let's see if I can show you this. So the charge port is here. Here you can see solder joints. Look all nice. This one's a little ugly here. Maybe I'll fix that up. The rest look okay. Oops, sorry, I don't even know what I'm showing. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to try and clean up that one that looks a little ugly on the outside, but other than that, that's all there is. Let's zoom back out. Let's put this back to where it was. Okay. Hopefully that's right. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, I'm just cleaning up that one solder joint. Okay. There we go. So I cleaned it up. Oh, I need to wipe it off a little bit. Okay. It's better now. All right. Now we just have to reassemble the whole laptop. So let's go back. Put this stuff away. All right. Get that stuff out of the way. Toss the old DC jack away. All right. Okay, let's zoom out some more. And then let's grab the computer. Here we go. My camera's not centered properly anymore. Let's see here. Is it supposed to go this way? Okay. I don't know now. It's being weird. Okay. There. I guess that's right. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so we'll do that. Alright. So now we're going to reassemble this. So you just put it back the same way we did, but reversed. You want to make sure these little tabs are open so you can slide those the cables back in. Alright, so again, you put it up at an angle like this. Get the headphone jack in. Make sure the headphone jack is in the right spot. That's the main one. And then get these cables out of the way. Right, slowly drop it down. You're gonna have to make sure this cable's on top as well. Also the fan and this LCD connector. The fan we have to make sure to put back. It goes slightly underneath the thing like that. Okay. Then we'll plug this connector back in. I don't know if I have the charger for their laptop, but let's see. All right, squeeze those two connectors just like that. Okay. You got the LCD connector, you got the power button here. Okay, get that lined up, slide it in. All right, and then put the latch back down. LCD connector, make sure the tape is out of the way. Get it lined up. Okay, then you have to use the wings to pull it in. Just like this. Alright, there we go. And then put the tape down. Okay, this little connector is a little bit crooked, so I'm going to see if I can fix that. Put that latch back down. Alright, get this one. Try and get the connector in. It's a little dirty. Get that. Alright. Slide that connector on. Come on. There we go. Then while you're getting that, you can rotate that, drop it in place, put the latch down. Okay, we're going to put these two screws back in. Sorry if it's going off camera. I'm gonna have to readjust my camera again after this because I don't think it's centered properly. This mat should be in the center, so it's supposed to go that way more. I don't know. Okay, whatever. It's all like crooked and screwed up. Okay, whatever. Good enough. So do that. Alright, so all these cables we need to get back in. So I think these cables you want to go first. Okay, let's see here. Just like that. Guide them in. Right, then we'll do these wireless antennas. Guide them in. Okay, these wireless antennas also go around this corner, it looks like. And then this. I don't remember exactly, but just wanted to kind of follow the same path. Alright, and we got these cables go underneath. Technically these wireless antennas aren't even used, so they don't need to be in here, but just put them back. Alright, and plug back in this cable. This is a speaker cable apparently. Okay, line it up, squeeze it back in. There we go. Alright, let's put back some of these screws. So you got the bottom screw here next to the hard drive connector. Alright, then we got a second screw up here on this white circle. Okay, and then we got the other screw. Where'd this one come from? Oh, here, right below the fan. Okay, and then we gotta redo the fan screws here. Just like that. Okay, perfect. It's kind of dusty, so I'm cleaning it off. Alright, then we got the wireless card. Put the wireless card back in. Yeah, I don't think I had to remove the wireless card earlier, so. Alright, hopefully I won't have to take it back out to put that metal cover on. I don't think I did, so let's do that. Alright, put these antennas back on, just line them up. When you know they're lined up, if you try and move them around, they stay in place. And then just pop them down, alright. Okay, pop it down, there we go. Now we got both those in place. Let's get that antenna under there so it's not like just all over the place. Okay. Alright, so I think we got all the board stuff in place, so we're going to flip it over. Open it back up. Make sure we get these cables back in. Okay. Make sure the latch is up. This can be a little bit tricky. There we go. Put the latch down. Same thing with this little cable. Line it up. Alright. Put the latch down. Okay, so what else do we got? Okay, so now we're gonna put back the keyboard. So the keyboard has 3 cables on it. Alright. First one looks like the easiest one is the keyboard cable, but you want to put actually that joystick one first, okay, because it's the longest and it's in the back. Once you do that, I don't think I can show it on camera because my hands are in the way, but there you go. And then We'll put back the backlight cable if we can. This cable's all like crumpled up and stuff, so it's kind of weird. But yep, get that in. Put the latch down. And then the keyboard cable, same thing. Line it up. Get that in. And pull the latch down. Alright, just like that. Okay. Hopefully that's all in properly. This one looks like it's a little crooked, so let me fix that. Go, hold the keyboard cable in, put the latch down. There we go. Alright, then the keyboard, you want to slide the bottom in first because it has these little pegs that stick out. Alright, once you get that, hold the top middle up and then push the sides in. Alright, just like that. And then you can go all the way along the back. There we go. Now slowly close the computer again. Flip it back over, and then we'll put this metal plate back on. It's all dusty too. Let me clean that up a bit more. Excuse me. Alright, we'll put that back in. We can put back the keyboard screws first. Just like that. Alright, there's 2 keyboard screws. They actually label it on there. Okay, we'll put back the SD card slot screw. There we go. Put the little SD card slot thing back in place. Then we got the hard drive SSD. Put that in. Slide it over. Tighten down all 4 screws. Okay, again, there's a M.2 SSD slot, it looks like. I think it's for, I don't know if it supports PCIe NVMe. I think it's just SATA, especially since this was like Windows 7 when it first came out. Either that or they downgraded it. Okay, so we got all of that in. Now we're going to switch, or actually, I'm going to get the other screws. Okay. And we'll take these flat screws and put them back. 1, 2. There's a lot of screws on this laptop. 3. 4. 5. Hopefully I didn't forget any of the connections underneath, because if I have to take it all back out again, that's kind of a pain. 6. Okay, so we got all of those little flat screws. Now we're going to put back all the T9 screws, okay? So there's 3 at the bottom here. 1. Okay. 2. Alright, 3. Alright, and then there's 3 more towards the center. So there's 1. Alright, oops. 1 all the way in the center, 2. Alright, then we got 1 on the center on the right, 3. Then we got 2 towards the top. So 1 in this corner here. And then 1 in this corner here. Also looks like for a keyboard. Alright, so we got all those screws in. We'll take the battery, put that back in. Bottom goes in first. Okay, drop the top down, just like that. Hopefully this latch locked itself. Oh yeah, okay, perfect. Then we'll lock this side over. We'll take this cover, make sure this is on the red one, slide that up. Okay, then lock it back in. Then we'll put back the rest of these screws. This was missing some screws, so I'm only going to put back the screws that I have. 1 in that corner, 1 in this corner. Okay, it looks like the screw hole for this is actually broken, so can't put that even if I wanted to. Alright, we'll put back this screw. They did have one of these rubber covers, so we'll put back that one rubber cover. Okay. And they have the screw in the middle. Screw out here. There we go. All right, and that's pretty much all there is to this. I'm gonna see if I have a charger, and I will be back. I'm gonna pause this. All right. All right, so I'm back. I'm actually gonna use my universal charger if I can find the right tip here. Let me see. What did I do with the other? I only have one of my sets of tips. All right. Well, this has the right one. So 18.5 volts. We're gonna plug in this charger and see if it shows the charging light. So plug this in and we'll see the charging light is on. So I think we're good to go, and it should be good. Before, when I wobble this around, the charging started and stopped, like it wouldn't stay solid like this. So it looks like we're good. So that's pretty much all there is to this video. The only thing I didn't show is, I guess, the screen. But anyways, hopefully this helped you. If it did, like and subscribe. It'll help others find my videos. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.